I know this seems sketchy, but well, it kind of is sketchy, but it's kind of the way we do things around here. What is up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome back to T-Dog Customs, to another video. I'm gonna kind of just jump right into this because I need to get some work done on this, and it's cold. It's pretty freaking cold today and windy, but this is kind of an update on what I did a couple nights ago, 2 nights ago, I think. Now, keep in mind, my welder, I've been having a little bit of issue with. You can see the welds are not perfect, and I had some comments, or one comment really, saying about, hey, you know, your leaf spring mounts aren't supposed to be on your bumper here. Well, this is super thick, but I'm gonna be boxing it in and welding to the frame itself, so there will be a boxed in section, just so you guys know. And I'll probably end up cutting this off and just boxing it all in, but that will just kind of let you guys, if you are thinking like, oh, that's not very strong, it will be boxed in. Back here, I have tacked it into place, but I am going to be also you know, welding this all out and boxing it in, and probably running some bracing and some more, you know, stuff. So this is kind of all going to get beefed up before I actually, you know, take it off-roading and be hard on it. But this is just kind of, I want to get it set to where I can roll it, move it, and this is how we turned out. So I'm pretty happy. What I'm gonna try to do is shorten this up to where maybe I can get it to work with this, but the truth of the matter is, eventually I'm gonna be moving all this to Heim joint steering, so I'm gonna be redoing it anyways. But for temporary use right now, I'm going to try to shorten this with those adjustments there. I think I'm gonna have to get rid of this sway bar altogether and relocate it, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna remove these bump stops, and I'm gonna need to figure something out with the shock. So these, I don't think this placement will work, so I'll probably cut these off just to get rid of them, and like stick some brackets, weld some brackets off the back here that the shocks will go to. But the main thing today that we are going to be trying to get done is the steering, and then maybe the brakes, but mainly the steering. That is kind of a necessity. Once I get that done, then I can, you know, move the Jeep, and we can start on the back axle swap, because that is the next step, is pulling this out and then driving it back in, so the rear is that way. Then I can start removing the rear axles, and then we can start on the install on the new ones, figure that all out. So that's kind of the progress we made the other night that I stopped recording. So now I'm going to get the steering figured out. Okay, so as a temporary purpose to get this Jeep to where I can steer it, I had to take this part out of the tie rod, or a drag link, sorry, and shorten it so I could suck it all the way in. And then I sucked this in as far as I could and got this. I actually had to grind down the ball joint to actually get it to fit as far in as I needed it to. So I did that. No biggie though. It's temporary, like I said, just so I can steer it around the yard here and shop. So the steering is all complete, which I'm super stoked about. Now, I was a little unsure about this part, but it actually turns out that it will work. So let me show you what I'm talking about. This right here was the F250 brake line. I cut it right here, you can see, and I took it off. Now, these are pretty much the same. So literally, I can pop the Jeep one in, and I'm gonna need two hands to get it in, but it comes off, and literally, oh, I already did it over on this side, but you can see I just used the F250 stock bolt, and it bolted right in. So that was easy. Super easy. I'm super stoked about that. So the next step, once I get this other brake line just hooked in, I am going to, I think, fire the Jeep up, and let's see, there's a couple different routes I could go. I could work on this front end, getting it boxed in, but I'm thinking starting, because I want to get everything done so I know the front and rear all works together, and then kind of burn everything in for, you know, good. So I'm thinking once I get this done, then pulling it out, and then getting the back of the Jeep here and starting to, you know, work on that. So all right, let's see how this goes. Here you have the front. So we're looking pretty good. I've got no complaints. Yeah, everything looks good. It's about, the axle is forward a little bit more than stock, not by much, but just a tiny bit, which is how I wanted it. But you can see up front, because of the leaf springs, I didn't want to come too far forward and have to, you know, have this sticking way out. It still sticks out, but it's not horrible at this point. The rear is going to be a little more interesting. I was trying to keep it, remember, I wanted to keep it centered as best as possible. But because the size difference in the pumpkin diff, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do that. And the only problem with that is if we stretch it more than, I probably have like an inch, 2 inches that I can stretch it back. But if we go any more than that, we're going to run into the fuel tank. And I was trying to not go that deep. I wanted to keep the capacity of this fuel tank and not have to go to a fuel cell or anything like that, because I like having the huge fuel tank. So we'll see. I won't know anything until obviously I get it back in here. Again, I'm going to stress this again, because I know if people see this, they're going to say stuff about it. This is not done, so I still need to reinforce it all and put the shocks back in. So we're going to pull it back into the shop, and it's going to be in here probably for a couple days. Alright, so we got the rear off. There were 4 bolts here, and there were 2 bolts on the sides. And now we have a good look at what's going on here. So the plan is we're going to be going off of this bracing here for our leaf spring mounts. So we're going to try to reuse these L brackets here, and hook up for that. But the leaf springs are probably going to come out a little, maybe back here somewhere. So this will be a good platform to kind of work off of and go from there. Take a look. So we're going to start by taking off this little drive shaft. Also, a repair to this tail housing needs to take place. My neighbor's going to do it, so I'm going to take this off as well at some point here shortly and let him take a look at that. But yep, we gotta take these off, and if I can't, we'll see. But I'm not. Oh, it's messy under here. You can see the air dog, and you can see this. This is a NP241 DHD, which I did not know this, but they don't sell a slip yoke eliminator for the DHD transfer case. You have to get the DLD. So if I want to go to a slip yoke eliminator, I have to change the transfer case, which is just kind of not a pain, but it's just unfortunate. And anyways, so you can see about this right here is where I got cracked. So my neighbor's gonna see if he can weld this. Should be able to. And then I'm thinking maybe on putting the air dog on the outside of the frame, just to free up this space for mounting or bracing, but I still don't know at this point. Yeah, I just don't know. So this might be a good place right here to start the new brake lines for the new axle, but unfortunately I think we're gonna have to take this exhaust off. Looks like right here, so it should be a easy time to just take it off, but I think we are gonna have to take it off to get the axle out. So temporarily we'll be removing this guy, and we are probably gonna have to relocate it somewhere else because the axle will not fit. We're gonna be pushing it as far back, and that is right in the way. So have to weld up a new pipe, but that's no biggie. We'll figure that all out. All right, time to take this off. It's gonna be 4 8mm bolts, and the drive shaft should come right out. So this is arguably the world's smallest drive shaft. Crazy. Anyways, I'm gonna get this set on a clean-ish surface over here. So now the Jeep, has no drive shaft. Next step is disconnecting shocks, brake lines, emergency brake, and get the exhaust out of the way. I'm torn because I would love to video all that for you guys, but the truth is it's under there and I don't really think it's going to be that interesting. So I will come back to you guys once I get that taken care of. All right, I have gotten everything under here. Emergency brake lines, shocks, everything is disconnected. All right, back out here. Of course, it seems like I'm always working on this thing at nighttime. Just things during the day just don't work out. Yeah, so we're back in here. I know this seems sketchy, but well, it kind of is sketchy, but it's kind of the way we do things around here. Forgot to chalk the wheels. Most of the weight is on the front with the engine, so we got it set right here. This should be fine to balance wise. And then obviously once we pull these leaf springs out, a whole bunch more weight will be off of the rear end. But once we get it into place, you can see It's kind of raked right now, which is perfect because once we get this thing, you know, where I want it, I did it 8 notches up right here on the front, and it's the same height. So we're gonna do it on the rear, and then I will get the leaf springs set in place, and then we'll drop it down, and we should be at the same height. So that's kind of, I know, redneck, ghetto, whatever you want to call it, but that's the way I'm going to do it, and it should work out fine. Sometimes the smallest issues give the hardest time, and that was right now. I was trying to get the exhaust tip off, and let me tell you, this thing did not want to come off, but we got it off. And now we're gonna get this axle out. The thing that I've been most dreading is just that I think I'm gonna have to replace my spring mount perches, which in the whole scheme of things is not that big of a deal. The only see, because either I can move those in, or I can move these mounts out like I did up here. But I was really hoping to reuse these mounts, but I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think so. And our drive shaft is going to be way short, way short. So I think this might be a good time to end this video and let me do some thinking on what I'm going to do on this rear end, because we're looking at a lot of work either way, and without moving the fuel tank, we're gonna have some issues. So all that to say, I don't know how long this video has been, but yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna do much more tonight. I may just try to figure out a strategy, but I guess I'll get up and close this out properly. The front's great. The back, like, we're obviously way too high in the back right now on ride height, but the back is doing pretty well too. I would love to stretch it back to about right here, and then just cut out this fender a little bit on this tail end. But I just don't think with the fuel tank, I mean, it's not gonna let me for sure. So I'm gonna try pushing the axle forward and then seeing where we need to go from here. But you can see out the back, like, we, you know, to make this work, we would definitely need to either flip these so the long side is up front and the short side's at the back, or we need to move this whole axle forward a little bit more, which is looking like that's the route we're gonna have to go anyways. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget, give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. Comment below if you have any questions or if you have any ways you think should be done better. I'm all open. Yeah, drop a comment below if you think you have a solution to this issue. But until then, peace, keep grinding. I'm out.